Hi friends, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Today's video, I put together this look featuring drugstore products that are better than high-end, $10 and under. Some of these are dupes, but really what I'm talking about is not color comparisons. I'm only talking about products that are extremely similar in formula. If you've tried some of these high-end alternatives and you like them, even if you don't like them and you just want to find an alternative, maybe you like the concept of the product but you're not willing to spend that price point, I got you. I got all drugstore favorites. Everything except the lashes that I'm wearing are available at Ulta right now, and they're all $10 and under. So if you want to know what the drugstore products are and how I got this look, then let's go. So the first drugstore product that is better than the high-end alternative is my e.l.f. Power Grip plus 4% niacinamide. This is better than Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. I used to love the Hydro Grip. That was my favorite primer for like 4 years. But it turned on me, and I find that with the Milk one, it would pill with certain sunscreens, with certain foundations, and this one has just never done me wrong. I take just one pump, and I mostly focus it where I get really dry around my mouth and on my nose, because product really likes to slide off my nose. Next drugstore product is my favorite eyeshadow primer of all time. It's the Milani eyeshadow primer, and this is better than Urban Decay Primer Potion. That might be a hot take, but I feel like Urban Decay Primer Potion has really fallen off. No one really talks about it anymore. It used to be the standard back in the day, and I find that this one is extremely similar. They both have a slight tint to them. I will say the Urban Decay one does have more of a tint. They both have a very thin, silicone-y feel to them. I am going to set my eye primer with a little bit of my powder using the One Size translucent setting powder. I did pull out my Huda Beauty Naughty Nude eyeshadow palette. This is not one of the items, clearly this is high-end, but before I talk about my next products, I'm going to lay down some shadow. I'm going to go into this shade called Hypnotic in my crease. I'm going to go into this slightly darker brown called Rough, also in my crease. I am doing a halo eye today, so to deepen the inner and outer corners, I'm going to go into this shade called Naughty. To deepen up even more, now I'm going into Spicy. I am going to go in with a shimmer, but before that, I do like to apply a light brightening center shade just to make the shimmer really pop. So I'm taking the lightest matte in the palette. This one's called Filthy, and I'm taking my Sigma E54. It's just a flat packing brush. Now for the sparkle, I pulled out my Colourpop Super Shock eyeshadows. I know these are a really OG favorite, and they kind of been brushed over. No one really talks about these anymore, at least not as frequently as we used to, but I would say these are better than the Urban Decay single Moon Dust glitter eyeshadows. And the reason I like this one more is it's not as dry, and this one's just easier to apply. I find that the Urban Decay ones are just super dry and they have a lot of fallout. So I have 3 shades. This one right here is Mighty Morphin. This one in the middle is Ritz, and then this one is Frog. The one I'm going in with today, Frog, has a lot of really pretty pink and blue sparkles. I mean, for the fraction of the cost, the Urban Decay ones are at least $20 a pop, which is really, really expensive. These Colourpop eyeshadows are only $5, you guys. I am going to tightline with my next drugstore product, and this is the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Gel Eyeliner in the shade Blackout. These, in my opinion, are better than the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On pencils. Now, I will say the Urban Decay ones are longer wearing than these ones, and they do set down more quickly. But in terms of creaminess, longevity, the versatility that you have with the Urban Decay ones, the LA Girl ones do the exact same thing. They're super, super pigmented, and you can just leave them to set down, but they are also very smudgeable, so really good for like smoky eye looks or to put down on the lid as a base for eyeshadow. And just like the Urban Decay ones, if I put this in my tightline and I put a different colored eyeliner on my waterline, it's not going to mix and transfer and turn. Like if I put like a white or a nude, it's not going to mix in with it and make it look gray. These really do just stay where you put them. And to finish off the top of the eyes, I have some lashes. These AOA Studio D-Lux Curl Premium Foam Ink Lashes in the style Bette are better than the Velour Plant Fiber Cloud 9 lashes. I love the velour ones. They're so beautiful, but my only issue is that they're so expensive. They're like $22 and they fall apart so easily. Like they're not reusable. I only got like 2 uses out of them because the fibers like literally just fall off and the lash disintegrates. This never happens with these AOA Studio ones, and these are like $1 and some change, so there's just really no competition. The styles are extremely similar. I would say the velour ones have more lashes and they look fluffier, but they're both tapered on the inner corner and they both have an intense curl. Lashes are on, and I went ahead and put on my foundation. So next is concealer, and this is one of my favorite concealers of all time. The Physicians Formula Butter Glow Concealer is better than the Kosas Revealer Concealer, which that used to be my favorite, but this has a very similar consistency. It's thin, it's extremely hydrating, it looks dewy under the skin, it stays dewy if you don't set it, but you're not going to get full coverage with this. I would say the Kosas has a little bit more coverage, but my issue with the Kosas is, one, the shades are very strange and tend to be extremely yellow, and Kosas is notorious for their products going bad, so I've only been able to use that Revealer concealer for 6 months at most, and that is a $28 concealer. It might even be more. Considering inflation, I haven't used that concealer in at least a year. So this one at a fraction of the cost is just way better and more reliable, and I really like this shade. I'm doing my favorite concealer combination, so I'm gonna add a little bit of the Huda Beauty Faux filter, especially because the eyes are so dark and dramatic. I really want the under eyes to be as flawless and full coverage as possible, and also this one is more mattifying and just helps the Physicians Formula one set down more. I went ahead and applied my bronzer, and off of camera I put the LA Girl eyeliner in my waterline, put the Frog Super Soft Shadow in my inner corner, and just took some of those deeper browns I went in with and smudged it on the lower lash line. I'm actually going to forego highlighter today. I'm feeling like it might be a little bit too much for this look because it's already dramatic, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to blush. These e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blushes are better than the Rare Beauty blushes. They're more affordable, they're easy to work with. I feel like for beginners, this is just so much more friendly. They're not as pigmented as the Rare Beauty ones. I did a swatch comparison comparing the e.l.f. liquid blush in the shade Bronze Bombshell to the Rare Beauty blush in the shade Love. Now this one is matte, and like I said, the e.l.f. ones are all dewy. Here's a swatch of the e.l.f. one in Bronze Bombshell, and then this is Rare Beauty Love. Just like how I would apply the Rare Beauty liquid blushes, I always put a little dot in my palm. And the darker the colors go in the e.l.f. range, the more pigmented they are. The lighter colors are less pigmented. And then I will take my blush brush. This has just been such a go-to, both for bronzer and blush. I have one for each. And this is the Ulta Beauty Precise Foundation number 12, but I just love it for applying cheek products. And I really work my brush into the palm and evenly coat the brush with the pigment. And it just makes very pigmented blushes like these way more workable. Before I set everything with setting spray, my next drugstore product that's better than the high-end alternative is the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. This has become my favorite mascara over the past year, and I do highly favor this over its high-end alternative, which, if you know, you know. The Benefit Roller Lash, they have the same wand. The packaging is also very similar. My issue with the Benefit one is that it's very dry and it doesn't age well. It gets almost too dry, which makes it flaky. And I just find that this one holds a curl and curls my lashes better than the Benefit one. And this is only like $6 or $7. Also, compared to the Benefit one, this one does not smudge on the lower lashes, and that's always been a problem for me. I don't know why. No matter how much I set my concealer, certain mascaras will still create those black dots, ruining my makeup, but this does not. The Benefit one has ruined my concealer. Next is setting spray, and these are going to be a hot take, but recently I talked about the Ulta Beauty setting sprays, both their matte and their dewy finish formulas. So the dewy finish one, I do think is just as good as the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip setting spray. It doesn't make your face overly dewy, but it does the exact same thing as the Milk Makeup. It is so good at locking in and making your face look less powdery. And then as far as the matte finish goes, this is just as good as the original Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. It's also similar to the Caliray Surf Proof, but the Caliray one isn't as mattifying as this. They do give the same kind of very smooth, velvety kind of finish to the skin, but I think this one is definitely better for those who really struggle with oil and sweat ruining your makeup. The ingredients are way better than the Urban Decay one. The Urban Decay one does have alcohol in it, especially if you want clean ingredients, something that's really simple, and something that doesn't have alcohol or fragrance. Today I'm going to use the Dewy Finish Setting Spray. And this does have a very light, like floral scent, kind of giving rose, but not exactly rose. It's something florally, but it's not overly scented. My lip liner choice I have been featuring in my last two videos, and they are the new Moira Lip Appeal Waterproof Pencils. These are better than the Rare Beauty lip pencils. The formula is basically the same. They feel exactly the same. They're not super glidey like the About Face ones. They do have a little bit more of a pull on the lips, very, very similar, basically the same as Rare Beauty, but these wear so much better than 90% of my lip liners. Then lastly, the drugstore product that I think is better than the high-end alternative is the Undone Beauty Big Poppa Gloss. If you've been here for more than a year, you know that this is one of my favorite glosses of all time, and this is the most hydrating gloss you'll find. This is only $10 at Ulta. They have a bunch of cute shades. I will say that a lot of the shades look the same. This is not a pigmented product whatsoever, but this reminds me a lot of the Too Faced Hangover Pillow Balms, which I also really like. I really like the Too Faced ones, but this is the closest dupe that I've been able to find. I think this one is just way better, especially because these feel more hydrating than the Too Faced ones, and they last longer. They cling to your lips more than the Too Faced ones. The Too Faced ones are just slightly more silky and thin in texture. For today, I'm gonna go in with the Moira Lip Appeal in the shade Bombshell. I filled in my lips with that lip liner just a little bit more towards the center. And I'm gonna top it off with the Undone Beauty Big Poppa Gloss in the shade Passionfruit. And just like the Too Faced ones, these smell so good. I find that the scents across the shades smell the same. Like the peach one smells exactly like this one. This is the final look, you guys. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I'm loving the tones today, and this is featuring our drugstore products that are better than high-end, $10 and under. I do want to give a shout out to my top 3 products of today's video. Starting off with the concealer, this has been my favorite concealer over the past year. It never looks dry, it never emphasizes dryness or fine lines or any weird textures. I feel like a lot of people, majority of people are going to enjoy this. Next are the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blushes. I think this formula is extremely impressive considering the price, but I really do think overall these ones are better. More people are going to be able to get along with these. And lastly, Undone Beauty Big Poppa Gloss. This is probably the most underrated product that I'm talking about in today's video. I never hear anyone talk about these. These are just the most hydrating. It feels like a liquefied balm. Do you have any drugstore products that are very similar / dupes to high-end products that you think are actually better? Let me know down below. And if you want to see more makeup looks, more get ready with me's, and more makeup tutorials, then like, comment, subscribe. I'm sending you guys so much love and light, and I will see you in the next